in the second NFC wildcard game, the Seattle Seahawks took on the Philadelphia Eagles at Philadelphia and won 17-9. Now, before I get into it, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel because I upload NFL videos and college football videos daily. So, Seattle goes on the road and beats Philadelphia 17-9. And the key story of this game is how Carson Wentz went down in the closing minutes of the first quarter. And Josh McCown was forced to step in. And I think he played a pretty good game. But you can see what makes Carson Wentz so important to this Philadelphia Eagles team. It's not just his ability to throw the football, but his athleticism, right? And we saw this time in and time out. Josh McCown, when the pocket was collapsing, him having to step up and run with the football. And we could tell that he was 40 years old because he didn't have the speed and he didn't have the athleticism to pick up some of those yards that a guy like Carson Wentz would have been able to pick up with his legs. So, look, the Philadelphia Eagles have nothing to be ashamed of. The Philadelphia Eagles, they battled injuries all season, and it got to this point, right? And even then, Carson Wentz getting injured in the closing minutes of the first quarter was basically a summary of what the Philadelphia Eagles season has been, getting injured, and the Philadelphia Eagles and his coaching staff picking themselves up, saying, you know what, we might have lost Carson Wentz, but we'll still have a chance of winning this game. And they competed to the very end. This coaching staff of Philadelphia deserves a lot of credit because Josh McCown, no Nick Foles. It's no Nick Foles, right? Nick Foles is in Jacksonville right now. So Josh McCown has to come in, 40-year-old backup, and try to help this Philadelphia Eagles team try to win this playoff game. And I thought he played a pretty good game, but also, Doug Peterson and his coaching staff for Philadelphia, you got to give them props as well. Look at the wide receivers who they brought in. You have wide receivers who are literally guys who were unemployed a couple of months ago playing in this playoff game. And if it wasn't for a couple of plays, Philadelphia could have ended up winning this game, but at the end of the day, Philadelphia's offensive line played as bad as a game I've ever seen Philadelphia's offensive line play in all my years watching Philadelphia play. Now, given they were battling a couple of injuries as well, but they gave us 7 sacks today to a Seattle Seahawks team that has only got 28 sacks this season. Jadeveon Clowney was a man amongst boys in this game. He was doing a lot of things for the Seattle Seahawks team. And listen, Philadelphia, like I said, they have nothing to be ashamed of. They played a very good game. Carson Wentz went down. But, look, this game with any other backup quarterback on any other coaching staff or team probably would have been a blowout. So this just goes to a testament to show you how good of a coaching staff that Philadelphia has. Because this is what separates the elite coaches from the average coaches and the average coaches from the bad coaches. The elite coaches can win and stay in games no matter how many injuries they have, no matter if their starting quarterback is injured or not. The average coaches, they can struggle winning games. But the bad coaches can't win without having their star players play all together. So this game goes to a testament of how good of a coaching staff that Philadelphia has. Because listen, when Josh McCown came in, I was thinking that Seattle was going to go ahead and they was just going to blow out Philadelphia. But that didn't happen. And Josh McCown made some solid plays as well. And then, if it wasn't for that drop pass on 4th down by Miles Sanders and the second to last drive for Philadelphia in the fourth quarter, Philadelphia probably could have ended up scoring or kicking a field goal or something like that. So, you just see the talent starting to become a factor. The backups for Philadelphia and the starters for Seattle, really. And, listen, good season for Philadelphia. But at the end of the day, we started to see Seattle being a more healthy team, not being bruised and battered like Philadelphia was, and we saw that become the factor. We saw injuries become a big factor for Philadelphia. We saw injuries on the offensive line, at the wide receiver position, at the secondary position become a big factor for Philadelphia. And Seattle, I told everybody Seattle was going to win this game because I felt Seattle was the more healthier team. Now, I know Seattle was battling injuries as well, but Philadelphia was more devastated by injuries than what Seattle was. And that's why I chose Seattle to win this game. And Seattle won this game 17-19. Now, we got to talk about the call in the fourth quarter. The gutsy call to go ahead and try to throw the ball to ice the game. That requires a lot of guts. And Seattle was sending a lot of guys, they blitzed almost everybody. They were playing man-to-man coverage. They were basically playing cover zero. They had no safety on top. They went ahead, threw the ball, and DK Metcalf iced the game for Seattle. And Seattle, I mean, DK Metcalf had a very good game. I mean, he had a big touchdown. I forgot what quarter it was, but he had a big touchdown. Then you had a Marshawn Lynch touchdown in, what was it, the second quarter, I believe. So, I mean, listen, Seattle played a very good game. And, I mean, we could just tell how badly beaten Philadelphia was by injuries, man. And, I mean, look, Josh McCown, I mean, he played a very good game. Don't get me wrong. But when it came for him having to run the football and try to pick up those extra yards and try to move the chains, he just wasn't able to do that because of how old he was. He wasn't the same player he was a decade ago. Now, Philadelphia had Carson Wentz. They would have been able to pick up on some of those downs when they had to move the chains, run the football, and things like that. So we just saw injuries become a big factor in this game. And we also saw Seattle dominate up front, which is what I predicted. I thought Seattle was going to be able to come into this game and be able to dominate this Philadelphia Eagles team up front. And they did. I mean, they had 7 sacks. It's a Seattle team that hasn't really been known for getting a lot of pressure on the quarterback coming into the season. All throughout the regular season, I mean, they only have, 27, 28 sacks coming into this game throughout the whole entire regular season. But in this game, they took advantage of a banged up and bruised up Philadelphia Eagles offensive line, and they got a lot of sacks up front, rushing basically 4 or 5 guys. They sent a couple of guys on blitz, but they also got a lot of cover sacks as well because Josh McCown, when he had to pull the ball down, he had nobody left to throw to and nobody was open. He had to try to extend plays. He wasn't able to do that. The mobility wasn't quite there for Josh McCown, and Philadelphia ended up surrendering a lot of cover sacks as well. But, I mean, the game plan was really good for Philadelphia, man. But, I mean, look, Philadelphia also had a couple of big drops as well. You had the Miles Sanders drop on that fourth down attempt in the fourth quarter. It was the second to the last drive that Philadelphia had. And he dropped that key pass on the fourth down, which gave Seattle the ball back. And, I mean, look, if Miles Sanders catches that pass and he holds on to it, we might be looking at a wholly, entirely different ball game, because then if he holds on to it, Philadelphia doesn't really have a lot of pressure on them to score because they still would have had some time left on the clock, and maybe they could have tried to kick a field goal, then ask their defense to go out and get one more stop, because I thought Philadelphia Eagles defense played very good for the most part. I mean, this defense was battling injuries of their own. They had a couple of guys miss on the defense side of the ball as well. But, I mean, up front, man, they gave Seattle a run for their money. Seattle was not able to establish the run game like what they want to. Seattle is a running football team. This is a run-first offense. They want to run the football. They want to pound the rock. They want to get physical with you. They want to run the football. And Seattle was unable to do that, so they had to rely on the passing game, which is why we saw Seattle have multiple opportunities to win this football game, because Seattle, although they do have the talent to throw the football passing, this is a running football team. This is a run-first team. And we also saw Russell Wilson. He did what Josh McCown wasn't able to do. He was able to extend plays and get those extra yards running the football. So, Seattle wins this game 17-9. This was a very good playoff game. I'm very glad this didn't go into overtime, because listen, I've been watching football all weekend, but I really didn't want to see another couple of minutes of watching the Philadelphia Eagles and Seattle Seahawks play. I mean, look, when Carson Wentz went down, we knew Philadelphia was going to win this game. But a lot of people probably thought that Seattle was just going to go ahead and just going to cakewalk to a victory. But that wasn't the case. The fact that Josh McCown, a 40-year-old backup, was able to help Philadelphia have some kind of production is just really impressive, and it's a testament to how good of a coaching staff that Philadelphia has. So Seattle advances to the divisional round next week. Philadelphia goes home. But I mean, look, Philadelphia, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with if they're able to stay fully healthy. And I mean, you just got to feel bad for Carson Wentz, like Chris Collinsworth was saying the whole entire game. You got Carson Wentz, who came into the season with a lot of skeptics, a lot of critics about his ability to lead this Philadelphia Eagles team to the playoffs. He stays fully healthy. He takes a Philadelphia Eagles team that's battered, bruised, and beaten, gets them into the playoffs, and then he ends up getting injured in the first quarter. So, I mean, just really devastating for Carson Wentz. Really feel bad for Carson Wentz. But, I mean, the Philadelphia Eagles coaching staff and this team played a very good game, considering the injuries that they had this season. So, let me know what you guys think about this game down in the comment section down below. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel for more NFL videos and content, and thanks for watching.